Hey everybody, what's up? It's me, Gary Plummer Jr., hanging out with Bama.eth.
What's
How you
up? What's
doing?
up? I'm doing good, man. Hopefully, I don't have this godforsaken echo from last time. Maybe somebody can hop in the chat in the comments and let us know.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Hey, you know what's interesting is all my stuff looks different this time. I don't see the bar over here to the right. Channels.
No bar to the right.
They showed like the comments and everything. I don't have none of that this time on this one. Chat. Okay, there's chat. All right. Yeah, I'm just going to pull up chat so I can see that.
Yep.
Maybe Prestigious said he was at a birthday party. I was like, good to see some of us have friends. No, I was, man, I was running all over the town there earlier today. Oh,
He could be working the birthday party.
yeah. Safety patrol.
Okay, so we have one. Okay, so we have viewers. So if
Yeah, maybe
viewers
Prestigious.
want to let us know how the audio sounds.
Yeah, do I have an echo this time, or can you hear me clearly? Maybe Ron will hop in here. That's who let us know last time in the chat.
All right. So, all right. Should we try to pop up a Twitter space too? You want to try to like double go it?
You talking about run a Twitter space on top of? So let me ask you this: is this going to show the red bubble as well as a blue bubble?
Yeah, it would open up both bubbles.
That's interesting. I wonder if there's a way you can make it where it's just the blue bubble.
Yeah, but then you can make but by not streaming to streaming.
So you can't stream. Okay, yeah. So that ain't gonna work. Yeah, pop one up. I can join it.
Let's see here. It's gonna take me just a sec.
Man, the temperature where
Careful
I'm at.
careful about tapping your table or your mic.
Or can you hear something? I haven't.
Yeah, when you tap your table.
Oh, you can hear that?
Yep. It's very loud.
I can't even hear it. That's what's crazy. It must be coming through to you.
Oh, I can. Okay.
It doesn't sound like it's echoing when I pull up our live stream.
That's good. All right, I'm gonna start this Twitter space.
All right.
Yeah, I think Ada says you sound good.
Okay, perfect. All right, we're in there this time.
All right.
Yeah, great. All right, I'm gonna pull up the live space.
Oh, can you hear that?
Yeah. Is that you on the piano over there?
That's me. That's me on the piano. All right. I'm gonna share. Test.
Man, we had like 130 people in the one the other night.
I know.
129 of those were my bots. No, just messing with jokes. Remember Gwei, man? I remember watching Gwei on minting coins.
I do.
Who was it? 184. It was one of the ENS guys that was on there with y'all. Also, he was a digit.
Novaks, Gwayman, 184.
Yeah, 184. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The back in the Whiskey Wednesday days.
Where's Novaks, man? We've got to send a search party for Novaks. I haven't seen him. You know, I talked to him when I was in Thailand. That was the last time. It was like a weird time over there, and we chopped it up. And then I haven't seen him or heard from him since.
No.
You know what's funny, man?
I send him a text maybe like once every 6 months.
Who, Novaks?
Yeah.
Listen, I remember the last ENS bull run, Gary. Novaks, listen, you know what I'm talking about when I say it. every space that I went in, the 999 club, it would be Novax. Novax was like running the space. And like, I felt like simultaneously I would hop over into the Time Club and Novax would be hosting the space. And I was like, God, how is this guy everywhere? He's all over the internet. But it was some good times, man. Dang, that was wild. That was wild times.
Yeah, Novak was a great guy, and he just like he was really one of the pivotal players in terms of the emojis and getting the emoji sort of adoption and like a lot like and
Novax cooked us, man. We all had word emojis. No, I'm just kidding. The yeah, he was gung ho freaking emojis though. I will say that.
yeah.
So I wasn't in the emoji chat, the emoji chat. Was Novax in the emoji chat like back in the day? Because I think I got added to it like later in the fact.
I thought he was. I thought he was, and he might still be one of his old. He had so many aliases.
Yeah, I know, right? Man, that was some wild times. I won't never forget the time that I think I've told you this. I registered leopard and I spelled it wrong. So I registered. I think I spelled it like Leapor. Huh?
We've all done that.
Yeah. No. It's worse. Not only did I register it, I was rocking it as my Twitter handle, and no one told me it was spelled wrong. Dude, I will never forget the day I was on Google and I looked up and I was like looking it up and like it was spelled correctly. And I was like, oh, this is wrong. I thought like Google was wrong. Like I was in denial, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was brutal, man. I will never forget that. That was good times, man. Yeah, 2022, 2023, I think that time frame when everything went ballistic, that was crazy times.
Well, you had the airdrop, and you had the NFT mania, and so there was just a lot of things happening.
I came into ENS
and then after the whole market crash, that's when ENS really blew up, right?
Yeah, it was after. It was after the fact. You know what's crazy is I came into ENS after the airdrop. I wasn't even aware of the airdrop. I got roped into this by an Unstoppable YouTube ad, and it made total sense. The concept made total sense. You know what I mean? I didn't know about all the differences between the namespaces. You know what I mean? So, man, I registered so many. It clicked with me immediately. Like, if that's one thing I can tell you, all this is that clicked with me is like the decentralized digital identity, because it was so easy for me to relate like DNS and IP addresses to ENS and hexadecimal wallet addresses. You know what I mean? So it made total sense. I think it made more sense than anything else to me initially. Other stuff I was just buying, you know what I mean? But like it clicked with ENS. That's when my addiction started.
Well, there's a lot of utility because ENS works, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you get into ENS, you buy your first ENS, you probably get your own identity, your own name. You probably label your wallet. You probably start to ask, hey, how do I get why isn't this showing up as my address? And you learn how to set your ENS as your primary name.
Mm-hmm.
Or you go, hey, why isn't my name showing up in MetaMask, or why isn't my name showing up in this wallet? And you go, oh, this is how I set my username. And then you just see it works, right? You go to Etherscan and you see the ENS names. You go to different apps, different dApps, and it just says put in the 0x for the ENS name. It's just a core integration. And so it's, a PFP has, utility, right? Because a PFP you can use as the identity, right? You have your Macy ape. I have some PFPs. You have some PFPs, and yeah, it's cool. You're in the club. It's a utility token. It's an identity token. And ENS is the same thing. It's a utility token. It's an identity token, but it has so much more that you can do with it. And because you come from the land of web 1, web 2, it. So yeah, it just clicks. It has massive utility. It's not just a cultural utility of like a PFP,
Mm-hmm.
but it's real world technical utility inside the core technical infrastructure of the code in the blockchain. So it's just, I don't know how it doesn't click and why it hasn't clicked with more Web3 native people, let alone others.
Yeah, one thing that I actually had a conversation yesterday that was asking me, like, what are NFTs doing this day and time? Like, the masses, let's just call them normies. Normies, when they hear NFT, they think PFP. You know what I mean? Man, I think, I guess for these domains to be technically NFTs, you know what I mean? They've got more use case than any other NFT. I don't see how, like, PFPs, I get it, it's unique, it's verifiable, you know what I mean? But these programmable domains is what really, what really got it with me with like .eth is I started thinking, man, I read one study, man, early on when I was researching. You probably read it too. It was like a Chinese study. It was on internet infrastructure. It was called The Good, the Bad, the Ugly of like ENS versus DNS. But one thing that I realized is the only function up until ENS making it possible for you to bring your DNS domain on chain, the only function of a DNS domain was to translate a human readable name to a machine readable IP address. It couldn't do anything else. And the value those things were bringing. Now, granted, a lot of them have businesses built on top of them. You know what I mean? But that is crazy. Like, we're in our early asset, and what it could mature to is unfathomable, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because some of those DNS domains, man, words are crazy. And this, if Web3 continues to grow like we think it is, you know what I mean? Some of these words can freaking, because they're programmable. You know what I mean? You can store your PFP, your ape, you can store any record. It's crazy to think of me. Like, it's such a no brainer. But yeah, man, I sit back and think about that from time to time. What you drinking out of mason jar? What you drinking, Gary? What you drinking, moonshine? No.
Yeah, man, moonshine Mondays.
That's funny, man. That's hilarious.
Moonshine Mondays.
The
You're giving up your geography.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like Southern U.S. Wow, yeah, heck yeah.
It says more about you than it says about me.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. When I see those jars, I think about like pickled okra or some crap.
Yeah,
That's something they do, man. My family and my grandparents. But
well, that's good stuff. It's good. It's good to pickle stuff. It's good to pickle stuff. It's good to do jarring.
Pickled jalapenos. I really don't care for jalapenos, but I love pickled jalapenos. God, every day. I could eat them every day.
I mean, a pickled jalapeno shouldn't even be called a jalapeno.
Yeah, no, it is. It is kind of fake breaking, but
it's like calling a pickle a cucumber.
Yeah, right. Hey, my mic's coming through, so that's good. I'm glad it's not echoing. Remember, we went the whole time. We went hours last time. People were like, "There's an echo," but I don't think neither one of us realized how bad it was. It was brutal.
Yeah, you get any feedback from folks?
No, I haven't got any feedback. I thought you did. I thought somebody said it was better. Or did?
I'd have said you sound good.
Okay, perfect. Heck yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone kind of was crazy yesterday over that new what is it, an EIP or an ERC? There's a new ERC 1892.
Yeah, I seen Shabbat.
I don't know if you talked about that. Yeah, I mean, I think people saw the whole identity aspect of it, and you see the word identity, and you think identity is what we got here, Bama.
That's not Bush. I know it's not Bush. He said, Bama got the new mic, Gary got the new shades. It's going to be a show.
Yeah, we could show that. Yeah. So what are we saying?
Talking about the new
identity. People just saw the identity because the person that was talking about it was talking about something like being like a new identity standard.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't even know what this thing is called. ERC 8092. Should go look it up. I don't know if it has like a name.
Well, when I seen it,
associated accounts.
When I seen it initially, and I seen Shabbat's post, I was like, "Oh wow, is this replacing ENS?" But you confirmed that it wasn't, so that's good to know.
Yeah, I mean, right now there's nothing to indicate that ERC 8092 is going to be replacing ENS. Not at all. 8092 is just cross-chain account linking. So if you have two different accounts, how do you take two different accounts and say these two different accounts are both Bama? Right? Like you can have one that's
vault. Like in my ENS record, I guess it would be verifiable in my ENS record, right?
Yeah, but how do you cryptographically prove that? Like you can
That's
write
what you're
like you can
explaining.
write a contract, and the contract that you write can say, um, hey, look for someone that has an ENS name, and if the primary address of another name, blah 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 blah. Like anybody can write their own way of doing, sort of like verification that two different addresses are owned by the same person.
Hmm.
But this would be a universal standard, right? This is instead of everybody having their own way of doing ENS names, and instead of everybody having their own way of doing usernames, instead of everybody having their own way of do signing with Ethereum, there's one way to do usernames on EVM. There's one way to do sign with Ethereum on EVM. There's one way to do cross-chain interoperability with EVM, because there's these protocols, these core protocols of how to do that. So this new protocol that's they're calling it part of the new, like, part of the identity standard,
Hmm.
part of the identity stack, is just associating accounts and cross-chain account linking. And so you're just linking accounts together. And so, I,
What's the
I
difference in that and Chainlink? Because I know Chainlink's like linking, and I know it's a lot more technical than that. But what's the main differences between the two? You know what I mean? Because that's where it will go all over my head. Luckily, I'm good at finding good ENS domains to accumulate from based on the. But some of this stuff, technical stuff, like when you go off that linking, I get it. I get it in that manner. But how does that differ from Chainlink? I guess where it's going to connect all the. Is it because Chainlink's connecting all the blockchains?
um, I mean, first of all, I'm not like an expert on this, but just like thinking off the top of my head, Chainlink, which is and Chainlink, like usually I reference CCIP read, which
Hmm.
is like the original one. It's the ERC 3668.
Hmm.
And so CCIP read, that's a standard for just, secure off-chain data, retrieving, it's just like taking data off-chain or on-chain, and retrieving data off-chain or on-chain. It's a secure cryptographic way of, moving data
Hmm.
around, right, on-chain or off-chain. And so this is allowing smart contracts, on-chain to fetch data,
Okay.
and just get the data, right? And so when you contrast that to 8092, uh 8092 is just like a secure cryptographic, secure bilateral, like two-way, um it's like a two-way signing, signature based, account association. And so retrieving data on chain or off chain is different than just two different accounts, just identifying that they're related to each other.
Okay, I was sharing this link. That's one good thing I know. I can always get you to clarify the technical stuff, man. But I was just thinking about this. It's crazy how much in just the few years. Let's just say, let's call it the last 3 years. It's crazy how many upgrades Ethereum has had. You know what I mean? Do you remember the other deed mint and all that stuff when gas fees? Like it's crazy seeing gas fees where they are now, as opposed and just how the scaling everything of the chain overall. Man, it's moved fast. You know what I mean? And just like I feel like it was like super expensive. Oh man, I remember minting domains and through that, but to now, overall, I know there's like the ups and downs of the assets with like going up and down, but the overall chain seems like it's progressing quickly. You know what I mean, in a positive manner. So that's good to see, man. As opposed to how it was back in the day, like gas fees alone were brutal. Let me ask you this: wouldn't it be great? It'll never happen. Wouldn't it be great if they airdropped us all of our gas that we spent on ETH from back in the day? God, that'd be an airdrop, man. I, there's a site you can go and see where how much gas you've spent. Right? I think I've done that. And I think it made me sick. I think I couldn't even imagine how much it was that I spent in just gas alone. It's freaking crazy.
No one likes doing that.
Yeah, I know. Man, wouldn't it be crazy though if they airdropped us our gas back?
Yeah.
That'd be beautiful. You
An
know where?
airdrop, like an ETH airdrop.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Could it?
What's stopping them?
Yeah, bring it on.
Sounds good, right?
Drop it.
Yeah, I'll rotate the whole amount. You know exactly where I'll rotate to. One of two directions.
Yeah, man.
Good. I'm glad. Look, there's 51 people in here. I'm glad my mic's not working. We probably run it up higher than the last week.
Yeah,
When was the last space we had? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. So what I guess for everyone listening, what are you wanting to do? We're gonna do like bi-weekly spaces, or we're gonna do them more often? I guess if anything pops up, do them on the fly.
Yeah, bi-weekly for now, a couple times a week, and then we'll see what we can do in terms of maybe something more regular as we move forward. Just not going to start too fast. Just going to ease into this and figure out the technology and the streaming thing and but I think it would be great to eventually get to like a daily show, like a morning show, an evening show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 100%. It seems like everything's coming together smooth though, from like the whole ecosystem that you got built, from like Web3 class that I've looked through, and just this software seems super easy to use. I'm sure it's more complicated from you going live on all the. How does that work? You just connect all your accounts when you hit it, just like simulcast across all of them.
Yeah, I mean there's hardware, there's software, there's everything in the middle. There's a lot of pieces involved, and the streaming is a whole it's just a whole bunch of it's a rat's nest to deal with, the wires and the computers and the technology and the lights and the audio and the video. It's a lot of different pieces to put together, and then in addition to the streaming, there's everything else that's happening behind the scenes. There's what we have going on with minting coins, which has been happening since 2017, with mintingcoins.com, mint.eth, all that good stuff. There's what we have going on with Web3 class and web3class.com. And I was super excited about the classes that we're building, the platform that we're building, the program that we're building, and what we can do to just like stay involved, because it's for me this is just addictive. I'm just trying to find a way to feed my addiction, and with that addiction, just helping people with what I'm addicted to, which is learning about the technology, teaching the technology, sharing that information. And so streaming, minting coins, Web3 class, Web3 domains, this is all a great platform for us to get that done.
You know what's crazy? You know the best thing about this, Gary, is if you want to feed that addiction, I own addiction.eth. No, I'm just messing with you, but I seriously do. That's a shameless plug. But now, man, which I think off the air, I've had the conversation with you. It's crazy how fast this is moving, and how some people. I've had conversations with some normies that aren't like really involved or hold or believe in the space at all, that think it's just going to go away, that it's had its little bubble and that it's going away. Meanwhile, in the real world, there's these financial giants that are coming on chain, that are offering services, that are tokenized. And the SEC is talking about they could be tokenizing real world assets in the next, as soon as 2 to 3 years. You know what I mean? So it's cool to see like things like this, like Web3, a new user can come in, because I'm going to go ahead and tell you, boy, it was like the Wild West for us. You know what I mean? When we came in, it was like the Wild West in the sense of didn't know, and you could research who could you trust and reputation. You know what I mean? So it's super cool to have something like this, I will say, because it was like, everything was like, man, foreign to me, especially like first time I ever bridged, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. It sounds so simple now in theory, but remember how complex it was. I was scared to even press a button. I thought I was going to lose everything. So, yeah, it's cool to see stuff like this, man. I'm sure more stuff like this will pop up, which is great, because the more stuff is going to bring more people on chain, which is going to produce the end goal. You know what I mean? So, yeah, super good. I should have done a mason jar, man. I'm almost out of my water.
That's why I did it. That's why I did. I was like I chug water. I was like,
I'm
halfway through my mason jar. I just sat down.
gonna one up you. I'm gonna have a tea pitcher. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's
The
but I
restaurant,
will do a bigger water.
the restaurant bottle.
Yeah, heck yeah. That's but I haven't seen much going on. I haven't been on X today. I haven't seen a whole lot going on today. Have you? Outside of that EIP, but man, it's just crazy how fast Ethereum's moving. You know what I mean with these upgrades, which is good. Do you know the next upgrade? I don't even know, or when it is. I'm sure it'll come. I'm sure it'll be some major upgrade.
Well, I mean, they just had like the what was it,
Saka,
the Fukushima
yeah.
upgrade, and so yeah, there's a lot happening, and it's not so much about the upgrades, it's just about the totality of everything. I mean, yeah, the upgrades are a big deal. The upgrades are major milestones with the base layer,
Mhm.
but there's a lot happening even on top of the base layer. With like apps and protocols and just like further development of infrastructure and security and even things like liquidity, increasing with the amount of capital coming on chain, the amount of developers coming on chain, the amount enterprise blockchain developers are increasing. The work that Marta was doing with ENS Labs, doing onboarding with
Man, she didn't
doing
get enough
uh,
props, man.
oh, no, not at all. But the onboarding work that she was doing with universities, such as Cornell and beyond Cornell, teaching, that next generation that's just about to come into all the top companies in the world, right? Getting a taste of blockchain, uh, right while they're in college. That it's a big deal, right?
Mhm.
To be able to code a smart contract in your final year of college, to be able to run a couple blockchain transactions for some of these software developers right before they then go into the corporate environment. It's a huge catalyst, and it's you know j- it, just another thing that's happening in the space, right?
But Marta, one thing I will say about ENS, and I think it's Labs, right? She worked for Labs, right?
Yeah, she was with Labs.
Listen, it wasn't necessarily the outcome of someone hoping to flip domains. You know what I mean for increasing secondary prices. But I will say they have had some talent that you cannot take away. Like Marta, that chick was a juggernaut, man. She was shipping constantly. You know what I mean? It was like high level stuff for like on a constant. I remember going through the timeline. I was really upset whenever she left, man. But Godspeed to her. I know whatever she does, she'll do well. But she executed like perfectly with ENS, and that was good to see, man. So that was a heavy hitting team. You know what I mean? There was in that, I guess, era of ENS. But she would be cool to get on here, man, one night for a space and catch up with her and just talk to her about some of that stuff behind the scenes. I don't know if she could talk about it, but she, I respect her hustle. I'll say that because she shipped, man. Did you notice that too when she was in there? It was like
No,
back.
yeah, I mean there was huge amounts of movement. You have goals and you make plans and you execute, and she's an executor. She got things done. She made a lot of big moves, and it's she laid the groundwork for a lot of things, big things that are going to bear fruit forever.
Mhm.
And then she also hit a lot of those like short-term home runs in terms of getting, like fashion. There's that fashion company, that major fashion brand, that adopted, and like during her time,
Ooh,
that's when um
I don't-
I would have to pull it up because
what
I'm
was
not.
it? Puma?
No, it wasn't Puma. It was something sort of larger than Puma. Um,
Hmm.
they do like European purses and clothing and all sorts of fashion stuff, and they're
That's
basically doing like
interesting.
on-chain tracking. There might have been an article on Web3 domains.
Oh, was
Uh,
it Gucci or Louis Vuitton? One of them, were you talking about could accept crypto payments?
no, no, it was using ENS names. I
Oh, wow, I don't know. That must have slipped me.
mean, I can really try finding it.
That's Yeah, I remember, man, seeing a bunch of companies had ENS. Man, I'll just be glad when Grails and Vision. When do you think Vision is? One thing I'll say about Grails, and then I'll bounce to Vision. Bounce to Vision is Grails is like receptive. It's actually getting better to move around on in there, and it's just like little things. I've mentioned to Brantley. He said it's on their list of stuff to fix. So it's going to be cool to see that grow. Vision, when do you think, or do you think they'll launch soon? Or I'm thinking maybe they're waiting to have everything how they want it and set up already to launch. So I'm curious to see, man, just so I can manage my portfolio. Grail's is getting better to manage mine now, but I've got to go renew some domains. So hopefully I can get one of these like referral things. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? You go spend money and win the rewards that in turn paid for your renewals you had to renew. So that'd be great. That's going to be great for someone. You know what I mean? Even if it isn't me, it's going to make someone's Christmas for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Brantley's giving away the three $1,000 bills, and Vision's going to give away what they got, which could be around $1,000.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's really cool stuff. I mean, someone could renew their name for 1 year and win $1,000, and so I would definitely participate with that with both Vision and Brantley.
So one name gets you in the drawing. One name for 1 year, and you're in. The way I read it, right?
Yep, yep. When every year you renew is one name.
You can't beat that. That's yeah, maybe I hit. That's good. Let me ask you this, because you've been in since like inception of ENS. Is this the first time you've seen like organically giving back to the community? Because the whole time I've been in ENS, no one's like really like there's been giveaways and stuff. You know what I mean? But like from individuals. But this is the first time I've seen that company. Who's the company that launched this referral program?
That's NameHash, NameHash Labs.
Are they affiliated with ENS, or are they getting funding on that to like essentially for the referrals?
They're a official ENS service provider, so
Okay.
led by Lightwalker.eth.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Yeah, I was wondering if like that was some like stream, you know what I mean, coming from ENS to that. That's good to
Well,
see for you.
I mean, Lightwalker and his very I don't understand how his company is so large. But he has like a rather large company with a lot of people on his team, and they've been working in ENS for forever, for years and years. And I mean, I don't know for sure, but I mean, at least since like 22, but um, you know, possibly like way even before then, but just doing like a lot of big work, a lot of great work for just years and years and years. And then after years and years and years of doing great work, and then the service provider program came out, then yeah, name hash and Lightwalker, they did get some streaming funds from the ENS service provider program, which is definitely helping them. And Lightwalker definitely understands some of the critical needs that are needed in the EVM identity stack. There's a lot of issues we have in terms of like looking up information and retrieving information, and apps are really dependent on small Lego pieces to operate, and then those small pieces go away, and then things don't work anymore. And there were some examples of that recently with some services shutting down. But yeah, I think I was originally the first person to bring up the ENS referral program, and then back when I did that, Lightwalker was, kind of like, it kind of felt like one of the few people who supported that idea. And, geez,
Oh,
man,
that's cool. Are you talking about?
3 years later, it's like, I'm glad we finally have something done. And, we have him to thank, and his team.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you going. Yeah, I remember the referrals. Yeah, I remember that being a big discussion. That actually was like a very controversial. You know what I mean? In like the community. I'm glad to see that it came to fruition for somebody, especially. I mean, I don't know the back end. Obviously, I don't know all the technicalities like you do, but all these like data aggregation and everything of these marketplaces, like that's awesome for. I'm assuming Brantley and Grills and Furion and Vision and others. You know what I mean? Even like you, that's awesome that somebody can come in and register in ENS through your company and you get a referral. You know what I mean? That's awesome. Like that's funding when there was no funding. You know what I mean? Essentially, then it falls back to how good are you at getting people to your site? You know what I mean? And how can you get people here to register and collect the rewards? So that's awesome. I'm gonna go renew some of my domains.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity. I just think like, how hard would it be to build an app on Ape Chain, for example, or Base Chain or Ape Chain or Avalanche or just and just anywhere, everywhere. Like just Ape Chain, for example, build an app where you can pay an Ape coin to or any coin to like renew your name, and it goes from Ape Chain cross chain to main chain, right? And then if you get the ape community, the ape, you got the board ape hoodie on right now.
Yeah.
You get the ape community, the ape chain community to renew their ENS names through ape chain, and then that shows something.
Hmm.
And so to have that incentive structure, there, yeah. What's interesting right now is that it's this $10,000, but it's only for the top 10 referrals, and so that's an interesting game mechanic. You know, it's like
So
poker.
the
It's like
top 10,
poker, right?
yeah,
You go to Vegas, you go to your buddy's house, and there's 10 people at the table, and you guys are having a game night. Who walks away with money? Not everybody. Get the top 3 people, maybe.
hey, no, no, listen, this is a funny side story. This side quest probably shouldn't even be talking about it on here. My friends made a Bama.eth poker rule. Listen, you say the top three, but listen what I used to do. I used to go over to my homies and we'd play poker, and then I would always have something come up and have to leave early, so I would cash out and be
Right.
up. Look, they made a Bama rule because I would cash out. I would get up and cash out and leave. And then, so I always so they made a Bama clause. That's funny, man. I was just thinking about that.
What's
That's
the
cool
clause?
though. I didn't know it was only.
Can't leave.
I didn't, yeah, I always left until they stopped me. They caught on to me. They got hip to the party. What is So it's only top 10 on that referral stream. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll share the page in a little bit if we keep on talking about it. But yeah, it's just a top 10 referrals, and then it's broken up by the percentage of how much people use it.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
So if I go pull it up here, I'll pull it up in a second.
Hey, what was that sale earlier? That 998.999. Did you see that? Was that had to be a wash?
I assume like the first thing I thought, I guess the first thing I thought is that it could have been a wash. But the main thing I thought is like I wondered if it's just something like a club, if somebody had like through a new club, and
Uh-huh.
it's and I don't know. There's crazier shit out there.
I think the explainer bot, whatever they call it, with grills, it had some like crazy thing. Hang on, I'm gonna read it to you. Did you see it?
No.
Here it's and it's probably off. It was probably a wash sale, but it made it sound like the most sophisticated wash. Listen, so it said a multi-chain well snapped up a niche number file style numeric ENS from a small holder with a $206,000 wallet. This was a pocket buy. While the seller executed a quick mint to sell flip, the buyer is a well capitalized multi chain collector. Look, so I started reading that and it goes on and on, but I was thinking I've got all of my stuff scattered amongst portfolios, like amongst different wallets, right? It's funny because I don't keep no ETH in my wallets, right? And so it was whenever I'll buy something with my Bama wallet, that bot talks about me like a peasant. It's like, look, it's a little peasant with $7 in his wallet trying to make it. It's funny. It's funny reading the reviews on that. You know what I mean? Have you ever read like the reviews on what the little bot says? It's funny because it always says that. It's like a peasant with $7 in his wallet is trying to make it, accumulating top names. It's funny. That made me laugh, man.
Yeah, the one of the big problems with the internet is and the emergence of the generation of the internet that was born on the internet is
Mm-hmm.
that there's this error in thinking that you think if something's not on the internet that it doesn't exist, where people think that all the information in the world is online, and it's not true, right? All the information in the world is not online. And people think that if Google says this or if they can't find it that it doesn't exist, right? It's like it's this huge problem in the thinking and the psyche of the world because a lot of digital people like don't have information if it doesn't exist online.
Mhm.
It's a bigger problem. It might not sound like a big problem, but it's a big problem. And now with AI, if the AI doesn't say it, people aren't going to believe it.
You're right, dude. Listen, you can't.
And it's not true, right? Because just like you're showing, just because the wallet's poor doesn't mean it's actually poor.
It's the
And listen,
gospel.
and it's
People
harder.
think
It's
it's the
harder to
gospel.
fake. It's harder to fake, but just because it's rich doesn't mean it's actually rich.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's people treat it like the gospel. I was just fixing to say that. I'll have a conversation with somebody IRL and they'll like be talking into AI to answer the question or something. And it's like, hey, buddy, are you sure that's right? You know what I mean? But it's crazy. I just know the one thing I know that they're going to intercept is the blockchain and the AI. You know what I mean? That's one thing I think digital identity, decentralized digital identity is going to shine. There's Gary, you can't tell me that you're not going to have to authenticate things in the near future. I can't even personally see a video much now on X and differentiate whether it's AI or real. You know what I mean? So, man, it's going to have to come quick.
Very quick. I don't doubt it for a sec. I mean, more than don't doubt. I've been talking about it. Everyone knows I've been talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
there's
Imagine being 60, like, and imagine believing everything you've seen your whole life. And every video you've seen, you can show and be like, oh, wow, this is wild. This happened. You know what I mean? These people, these are like elders now, man. They imagine they don't know what's real and what's fake. Like, I see people on social media saying, like, it's sad, it's scary. You know what I mean? Because they believe the video they see or whatever the case is. It's crazy.
yeah, super crazy. Super crazy. Yeah. I mean, if you for young people, maybe under 50, I can call young people under 50 or maybe under 40, under 30. Like imagine walking around and there being holograms, like holographic people, holographic projections. And the holographic projections look just like people, but it's like a sci-fi movie, right?
Mhm.
It's not like get the 3D projected advertisements in a sci-fi movie like Blade Runner.
Yeah, right.
So imagine there just being like a projected human, and like then you have like a 60-year-old person, and that 60-year-old person thinks that the projected human is real. And it's not like they're a complete idiot because their hand maybe it's made of light and their hand goes through it and they're like, oh, what you know, and they realize it's not, but they get tricked by it, right? And it's just, yeah, you go your whole life perceiving the world one way, and then very quickly, as we saw with AI, and the progression is going to be crazy. Very quickly, the world changes. You know, very quickly, you go from a world where you're hand washing all the clothes, and one day you got a washing machine. You live in a world
Next,
where one day you're reading the newspaper, and the next day newspapers don't exist.
one day your humanoid robot's going to get your newspaper, your mail out of the mail. But that's what's going to be crazy to me. And you can actually build a humanoid now. I looked into it. I don't have the time. You know what I mean, to put into it with all that it takes. But those things are coming, man, 100%, and they're coming fast. You know what I mean? They're already starting production on, and I actually was reading some articles, and I'll get your thoughts. I'm sure it's going to be like any technology. Relate it to a TV. They're going to be super expensive, the good ones in the beginning, and every year they're going to get substantially cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper until it's full adoption. You know what I mean? There's going to be a time, I think, in the next decade where there's going to be humanoid robots running around completing tasks for humans. I'm gonna have one. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna try to set mine up with the ENS. But that's we talked about last time. That was never one thing that I did look at emerging markets, and AI was like predict. AI's here way ahead of schedule from what I read on like predictions. But I never once thought AI agents in ENS domains. That never crossed my mind. You know what I mean? The whole time, which is great, like decentralized. It makes total sense. But it was one of my things that
But didn't you think of smart contracts?
Hmm?
I mean, you realized. I mean, didn't you? I mean, maybe you didn't, but didn't you realize? I mean, obviously, you realized every human was going to need an ENS, but didn't you realize every smart contract was going to need an ENS?
Yeah, no, yeah, I did that. Yeah, but I wasn't even thinking humanoid robots. You know
Did
what I
you?
mean?
Were you thinking? Were you thinking? Does that mirror you? Were you thinking? Were you thinking about how? Because I used to talk about this a lot. How every car was going to have an ENS, and every brake of the car was going to have an ENS for like every part of the car was going to have an ENS subdomain.
No, I remember hearing you say that. I never talked about that. That makes total sense. I remember seeing somebody unlocking a car with a with their MetaMask. You remember seeing that video?
But that was an ENS name.
Yeah, but I think Japan right now is building a smart city. Somewhere over in Asia is building like
Everyone's building a smart city. There's like 10 smart cities being built in America
you know
right
what the smart cities are going to run on, Gary? Smart
now.
contracts.
Love.
Yeah, smart contracts. So, and you know what the smart contracts are going to be labeled with? .eth. So yeah, no, I didn't. I was thinking the main thing I thought coming into the space was hexadecimal wallet addresses, IP addresses, human readable, and then the sending to like Gary or Bama, or you know what I mean. That alone, I was like, this is going to be huge. Not even taking into account what we're talking about now. You know what I mean? It's just like icing on the cake, but it's real. I seen this and I took a picture of this, and I don't know much about this. I actually want to get your opinion on this live on here. ADEX, did you see that sell? It was what, 2 days
ENS?
ago?
ENS cell? What kind of cell?
Yeah, ADEX.ETH, ADEX sold
Okay.
for 8,100. It was 2.5 ETH. All right, but if you go and you can go look at this on X, you can pull it up. ADEX underscore network, and it's home of Aura, the AI agent framework for Web3. So they bought this domain for 2.5 ETH, and this is their page. AI agent framework for Web3. So I mean, it's wild. You know what I mean? That's one thing that I never really suspected.
They got a good Twitter.
Yeah, they got like 80,000 followers. I don't know anything about this company, nor am I vouching for it. I just seen the sale. You know what I mean? And they're rocking it. Look it up. It's ADEX underscore network. But I thought that was interesting. I think it was asleep or something when that sale happened.
That's their Twitter.
Yeah, ADEX underscore network.
Decrypt.eth for 0.15 was crazy.
Yeah, that is. That's what it sold for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a deal.
Okay. Oh, so yes. Oh, so okay. So, home of Aura. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like they got
AI
a
agent
token.
framework for Web3. 8x is listed and yeah. I mean,
I just seen
I
the
don't know.
name sell, and then I seen it was AI agents, something to do with it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's interesting.
But who is the buyer?
Let's see. You'll have to type it in.
Calimera.
Yeah, calamari or
Okay.
calamar or something.
Calimera.
Calamera. Calamera.
It
I don't
sounds
know
like
who it is.
Calimera is a location.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's cool. There's definitely a lot of people.
Hey, we've got a lot of people in here. There's 106 people in here right now. That's cool to see that at least they can hear me this time. Listen, we had 130 last week, and I was giving out free echoes all night. That's good to see that you can actually.
Yeah, it was your audio was very bad.
Yeah, it was brutal. Hopefully, we got that fixed. That'll never happen again. I guess that's growing pains, like in the beginning. I'm just glad it was as simple as that. You know what I mean? That was a simple fix for real tonight.
Yeah. So we have YouTube going, we have Twitch going, we have Twitter Spaces going, and then we also have Twitter Stream going and Twitter Space going.
Simulcast.eth. I got that too. Listen, I got that's how we buy vehicles via simulcast, and all these. I'll be in all these different states simultaneously. So it's interesting the roads we went down with names. You know what I mean? I tell you what. I don't know if you're accumulating anything now, but there is nothing. Me personally, not saying it's a smart strategy by any means, but I have hyper focused on the top names, first names and last names. I think those are going to absolutely cook. I think the signs will be there, like name chain. It's called name. You know what I mean? It's in the thing, just individual identity. So that's about all I'm scooping nowadays, unless I run across a super good name for like a freaking bargain. I think names is about where I'm going to stay 5 character, 5 character plus. I can't stress that enough. I'm tired of holding them hot rocks, man. You got to be, dude. You got to be strategic. You know what I'm talking about. You got to be super strategic with 3 and 4 character because they will burn a hole in your pocket if you're not careful.
It's true. Yeah. 3-character .eth ENS names are $640 a year. 640
As designed.
USD.
Yeah, squat.
And they are more scarce.
Yeah, no, I agree.
No doubt about it. They are more scarce. And then the 4-character .eth are $160 a year USD.
And then tell them about the 5s. Tell them about the 5s, Gary.
5 characters, $5. 6 characters, $5. 7 characters, $5. Any number of characters except 1, 2, 3, 4. It's $5. $5 a name if it's 5 characters or more.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's a lot more affordable. But those prices are subject to increase someday.
I know, man. You got to be prepared too. You know what I mean? You got to be prepared for situations like that. Like, what is it? Hey, maybe you can break this down. I read something. I probably should have done more research on it. As many different wallets as I have. What is up with no more grace period? Do you remember that? I read something a few weeks ago or a month or so ago on name chain and no grace period. Can you expand on that? Do you know what? Did you hear that and know the details of it? For anyone watching.
I mean, I just think they're getting rid of the. I think they're just. It's just going. The way that I understand it right now is that it's just going from. It's going to. Your name's going to expire, and then it's going to go right into premium.
Okay, so it's there's a 30-day grace. There's no 30-day grace anymore. Once it expires, it goes straight into the 100 million auction that counts down.
It does, but the original owner can renew it out of the auction.
For the $5, if it was a 5 character.
Yep.
Okay, that's good to know.
So if you got, what's a good example?
So the entire time, if it gets,
like if you're like Apple Tree, I don't know, or Apple or Amazon, if you're like Amazon.eth and you let your name expire. Amazon and company can come and purchase that name at any point, or Amazon the rainforest can purchase that name at any point, from $100 million down to no premium, or the original owner can renew their name. So you're racing. It just speeds up.
It's like this. It's like you can get it here the whole time, and the whole time it's coming down. Someone else can get it. So that's an interesting metric. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. So someone that wants to buy the name is still at the risk that the original owner is going to renew it before it hits more $5.
Yeah, and pay more. So pay more on that, like coming down daily.
Essentially, I mean, but you always have that. It doesn't change much. It changes like a little bit, but someone else could always, like right now, there's someone else could want the same name as you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the future, the original owner will just, instead of paying the equal amount you would have to pay, the original owner can just pay that $5.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I need to know that type of thing. I should have looked into that. It's super important. You know what I mean? That's actually one thing that's super important to know if you have, because you don't want to let a name expire and think you got 30 days, and next thing you know, it's like 73 million coming. You know what I mean? Oh, that's brutal. That would be painful to watch. I noticed GoDaddy's almost like their aggregation's almost like broken. I was just looking at there earlier. I'll go click on premium from time to time, and I clicked on a category, and there were so many names that showed were coming down premium that were just in grace. So it was like, wow. So I'll be glad once everything's more built up to the standards of how things were in the past before the markets had the issues, the secondary markets. Yeah, heck yeah. I didn't realize how much more complicated it was going to be moving things around, which from a security standpoint, it was way safer not having everything in one. You know what I mean? But it's a lot more staying on top of. I've got to do with like renewals and making sure this and that. And so pros and cons to all of it, you know?
Well, maybe not with ERC 8092, because with 8092, you'll be able to connect, and associate all your accounts directly.
Okay, so see, that's one good thing. You know what I mean? That I can see and manage, and yeah, that will be good.
And then theoretically, you can log into, Grails or Vision or ENS Manager, and then, like you can validate that all your accounts that you own are the accounts that you own, and you can just, better manage what it is you got going on.
Hmm. That's cool to see. When does that? That hasn't taken effect yet? That's coming, right?
Yeah, that's coming. Like everything's coming. Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot of things, and there's a lot of things we don't know. Like I said, the pricing can change.
pricing on what?
The renewal pricing for .eth
Oh
names.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I was talking about that EIP 809 or whatever it was. I didn't know if
Oh
it
yeah,
already.
that's just like a super draft right now.
Okay, so it hasn't been implemented.
No, but even so, I mean, if you just like have a list of your ENS addresses, you can have a tab open, or you could just have like a bookmark, or I mean, you just have to know what all your addresses are where you have ENS names,
Right.
.eth names, just like you got to know where you have NFTs or Ethereum or anything else, and then you could just log in. I mean, you're sort of doxing that if you renew names in all those wallets from one wallet, then you're doxing that one wallet is renewing all those other wallets, and so there's like an association that one wallet probably is related to all those other wallets, and
Hmm.
and that all those wallets are connected. But
Bubble map. You get bubble mapped.
you can definitely get bubble mapped and traced and tracked that way. But if you're okay with that, it's just if you're not okay with that.
Mhm.
But if you're okay with that, then you can just put all your Ethereum into your hot wallet, and then you can log into the whatever app, and then you just go to all your different addresses one at a time, and you just bulk renew whatever you want to bulk renew.
Yeah,
You don't
that's
have
what.
you don't have to log into each of those addresses, right? Because
Mhm.
anybody can renew any ENS name.
Mhm. You taught me something last week I didn't know about. You could see if someone else through the contract renewed one of your domains, so that if I went and say renewed Palmer.eth, you could go and see that. See, I didn't think you could. I thought you could. You was like anonymously running around and you could renew, but I didn't know there was a mechanism you could
Oh man,
find
there's
out.
nothing, there's nothing, there's nothing anonymous about anything that we're doing.
Yeah, no, no, no. I'm just saying like that someone wouldn't be able to tell it came from me, like if I just renewed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but think
That's
about it. What's yeah, but okay, so
you're signing a transaction, so I get
you're
it.
not, yeah, you're not a technical guy, but you're technical enough where if you stop and think about it, you can be a technical guy, because like, the renewing of the ENS name is, yeah, it's a function in a
Mhm.
contract. And some address needs to send Ethereum to that contract. You got to send Ethereum and data to this contract. Right? You want to renew the name? Someone has to send Ethereum and data to a smart contract.
Yeah, I didn't know if it just went to like Resolver. You know what I mean? I didn't know that you could like
Yeah.
track it down and pinpoint
And so
specific.
when somebody sends money and data to a smart contract, and then that gets written into the blockchain, like all of that, like who sent it, what contract they interacted with, how much Ethereum they sent, what data, roughly they sent, even if it's encrypted, all of that gets written basically to the block, the hash, the transaction. And so it's just a matter of writing a program that reverse pulls all that information and then displays it, which people have done, and I have it on my list to do, to track down those URLs. Track
Interesting.
those resources and list them. We're gonna list all those resources at web3class.com.
Hmm. Yeah, heck
So,
yeah.
which is our new education community.
Education venture. That's good though, man. There can never be enough of that. Oh, man, I had so many questions in the beginning, and I would just wouldn't go operate on anything I didn't understand. You know what I mean? One thing I did know is how to register an ENS domain name, and I capitalized. Remember the green? I remember the green man on the ENS app. Remember when it would be like green or red? It was green if it was available. That was like a euphoric dopamine hit. I remember, and then even Leopard we spoke of earlier. I remember when I registered Leopard, I was like, I can't believe this is available. It was spelled wrong the whole time. That's funny, man. That is hilarious.
Yeah, like I said, we've all done that. I bought names that were misspelled. I think I minted a misspelled names for like 10 years.
You really got to be careful. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, you was
Like 10,
confident.
10 year misspelling.
You was
I
confident in the misspelling. You pushing out 20. No,
was
but
like, this is available.
you know what's crazy? Man, you'll get wrecked on OpenSea though if you're not careful. You know what I mean? Thank God for Grails and like some of the others because damn, what is it? The zero width joiners and whatnot, man. That people can just look like the digits, any of the stuff, man. That's crazy. That's crazy that somebody takes the time to do that, man, rather than earn something the right way. You know what I mean? I just couldn't. I couldn't ever be a scammer, man, just because I won with integrity. You know what I mean, like ethically. And then there's people running around just scamming people. How can I make this domain look look like Gary Palmer Jr.eth, and then it's not. So yeah. Do you think OpenSea is ever going to tighten up, man, or you think they're all? Why do you think? I cannot believe as big as the ENS community are, as many registrations as there is, that ENS gets that type of like everything. You know what I mean? I mean, it ain't a certain type of. It's like nothing. It's nothing's precedent. The clubs, the just security, anything.
Yeah, I mean, my first guess is just they're so large and there's so much money riding on the line that they
Mm-hmm.
don't want to make any big changes.
Listen, NFTs is cooking, Gary. It's our time, man. We may need to go press the issue now. Now the NFT PFP prices are down. Like, listen, we got these
Well,
ENS jokers.
the thing is that like a lot of people rip on OpenSea and OpenSea deserves some honest feedback for some serious mistakes, which they recognize that they made in the past. But
Mhm.
the point is that right now OpenSea is really focused on making OpenSea great again, and they just hired Steve from Coffee with Captain. I don't know if you know that to do comms, and there's Adam Hollander that's over there running the ship, and I think I think now they honestly would be receptive to feedback. Um, but even if they're receptive to feedback, there's a difference between being receptive to feedback and then actually getting.
Implementing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was going to say getting it on the roadmap, right? Like, forget implementing it, just get it on the product roadmap. I don't even know like how they're run, but like normally you have a product manager, and the product manager is different than the marketing manager, and the product manager works with I don't know how they work, but they work with like engineering, and they work with designers, and they work with UX UI design, which is all different stuff. They work with other people, and then QA, research. There's and I just don't know. I just don't know like where that focus is. And then OpenSea as a as a company, is there a product manager for different types of NFTs, right? And so like with there's what is there? There's like PFP NFT category, there's gaming NFT category, there's digital identity NFT category, and so each of those categories have a product manager that oversees that NFT category that then works with engineering on the product roadmap, and then and none of this has to do with marketing. It's just making the website better, increasing the features, increasing the UI UX, increasing the ability for buyers and sellers to come together and what is an NFT marketplace. And like theoretically, if they had a product manager for a digital identity category, then this should be on on their list somewhere, and then it would be a matter of uh just, just accelerating. But maybe if they did that, like I don't know, like I don't know what all the implications are, and what all the politics are. There's a lot of politics, there's other things involved.
Gosh, what sucks about politics, man? It's like it's never a good outcome.
Like if you cut out the zero join with joiners, then are you going to be hurting some people that have a legitimate reason to use those? Like
Yeah, no, that
you
makes
know,
sense.
or
They could
just
at least give categories, man, like first names, last names, numbers, emoji. You know what I mean? Like,
right, but it's all complexity. That's the other.
yeah, no, I
It
get
is
it.
it is complexity, and it's like, well, what like how do we know the thing that we're working on is really like important? And you could say, well, stopping scams is really obviously important. And I don't have enough information, but they should definitely prioritize this, right? Like, again, I think ENS is really important. I think ENS is going to become more important. Uh, and while obviously we want more non-crypto people to get involved in crypto, to get involved in Web3, to get their NFTs and ENS names, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that there's not more Web3 native people that are getting, like flexing their ENS, coding their ENS, right? Even the builders, right? That the number of builders that don't have their smart contracts labeled is sort of shocking.
Man, it's funny, not to knock this guy, but I'll tell you an interesting story that I had. Quit was coming in premium, and this guy was like head of blockchain at Yuga Labs.
I know.
You
Yeah.
remember that, Mary telling you about that? And I told this guy, I was like, listen, man, I
I,
told him,
I, I also DM'd him.
yeah, and he was like, and this is when Vision was up. He was
Yeah.
like, I was trying to tell
How
him
many
like,
other people DM'd him?
oh, I'm sure a bunch. And he was like, well, what do you think it's worth? So I pulled like all this data based on like nouns, verbs, you know what I mean? Just all the recent. And it was like, I think it's around this. He told me what he was trying to spend, man, and it went down to that, and he didn't pull the trigger. And I was just like, wow, man, that's your whole identity. You know what I mean? It's just interesting to see some people, man, how they don't take it. Man, what you and I know, like you own
Well, it's
Palmer. No one else in the world can own Palmer. Not another Palmer. You know what I mean? They got to be. Well, it could be
yeah,
0x quit
but
or something.
yeah, but no, you can't. You see, I'm not a good example because you say I own Palmer, but I don't own Gary.
Yeah, no, trust me. I don't know my first name either, though,
Right.
man.
And so I,
Listen,
I didn't I didn't pull the trigger with Gary. Why didn't I pull the trigger? It's just like the price. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's sort of like you think, okay, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, and then someone else like pulls the trigger before you. This is like making 10x and then being sad because the money went to do another 10x. It's like this weird psychological. I don't know which psychological fallacy that this falls under.
hmm it's going to be cheaper.
But people just, yeah, they think, oh, I get a little bit cheaper. Oh, I get a little bit cheaper. Then they fall asleep.
Bro, I'm in automotive. That's the story of my life. Somebody will drive from North Florida to Wisconsin for $39. I swear, I see it every day. With let's see, we've got somebody commented. Bush said, "There's no telling what this is fixing to say." Future request: can y'all try to invite someone from Rockstar Studios who's working on Grand Theft Auto and pick their brain about implementing ENS into GTA? Bush, listen, I'm game, man. I will make a valiant effort to reach out to someone and see if we can get them on here. And I'm sure Gary's up to it also. But yeah, they've delayed that game and delayed that game and delayed that game. And then I've heard something, Gary. Have you heard this about their like going to be integrated, like using Ethereum with the gameplay? Uh, and I don't know. I'm game though. I'm game to talk about it, man.
Yeah. Find someone from, I agree, Bush. Let's find someone from Rockstar. Let's get someone from Rockstar on. Let's talk about ENS and the GTA. But I don't know if we can get any shout outs in the chat, but I'm more focused on Half-Life 3.
Half-Life 3.
Half-Life 3. Can we get Half-Life 3 before we get the next Grand Theft Auto?
I don't even know who that is, Gary. Who is Half-Life 3?
You got to look into it.
What do they do? Is it like I'm assuming it's a Web3 company?
No, it's it's an old school game. It's like an old school sort of like apocalyptic. I don't want to compare it to Doom, but
Interesting. I haven't played that.
there's a Half-Life 1. This is what you got to know. This is the important thing. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
There's a Half-Life 1. There's a Half-Life 2.
Okay.
And then there's a rumored Half-Life 3.
So you think that they're going to incorporate?
Oh no. It's
Or you
just
just want to get them on?
I just wanna I just wanted to shout out Half-Life 3.
I playing the long game over here. Yeah, wait, and then we'll shield.
Yeah.
That's but yeah, I'm game. I'm sharing this link right here into my Instagram. Let's see.
What are you sharing?
The link, the X link.
Cool.
Let's see. Yeah,
It's crazy. Between all the channels, we have like close to 200 people.
yeah, no, I noticed that. I noticed that also. That's good to be. What is this? The second one, which you've got a following, man, from people from. You've had minting coins there for a while, right? For a couple years, several years actually.
Yeah, minting coins was huge, and I don't know about nowadays because I haven't streamed in so long, but the metrics were always very very strong.
You know,
Because I never botted the channel,
uh huh.
so like all the subscribers were super authentic.
Man, but speaking of bots, I'm going to tell you from a digital standpoint is HL3. I like the way you think, Gary. Bush said he liked the way you think. He must know what HL3 is. Yeah, no, but AI agents, man, they're going to be huge. From actually personally interacting with them and seeing how it helps business, you know what I mean? Efficiency. I think if there was one word that I could say about AI agents is efficiency. It is unreal how much more efficient just one at the office has made me. You know what I mean? Being able to multitask and but one thing I've noticed. This is one thing I've noticed from. Hang on, let me get this posted. One thing I've noticed from real world AI agent use is most people think that artificial intelligence is going to do everything for you. So one thing that I realized quickly is people around, let's just say that I interact with, think that when you pair up with like an AI agent, that it's going to do everything. You won't have to do anything. And that's far from the case. Like from learning and teaching the model and seeing it get better with time, because as more data goes in, you know what I mean? It's getting more smarter with its responses, but it's crazy how it's like I can ghost drive the whip, you know what I mean? And I can have 1,000 things going on and only intervene in little areas whenever I need to. So that's one thing I can tell you. This taught me with playing with AI agents. It's patience, probably being patient with understanding it's not a plug and cure problem for everything. But if you can stick with it in the long term and as it learns, man, it's such a freaking asset. And it made me understand why people were talking about like people using AI are going to have an upper hand. And that's totally true. You know what I mean? You can do so much more productivity using one.
Yeah, but you got to have that balanced, view about the AI because you can't just
I agree.
trust the AI. That's where things go to hell. Is that it's like we had 3 weeks of people going, oh, you can't trust the AI just because AI says this, and now everyone just trusts whatever the AI puts out there, right?
Uh-huh.
Just like I was saying earlier, people think that if there's information that's not on if the information is not on the internet, then it doesn't exist. But not all the information in the world is on the internet, and so you need to know how to use AI. AI will, become more efficient and all that jazz. But you can't just blindly trust the AI, just like you can't blindly trust Wikipedia, like you can't blindly trust Google, just like you can't blindly trust the Britannica, this
Oh,
Encyclopedia
100%.
Britannica, or anything else.
100%.
You
Listen,
know, people do a lot of copying and pasting. There's not enough people that actually read and edit their own work.
listen how AI, you can't let it just take over because listen, so I was at a Christmas event last weekend
Who?
and we was closed.
You?
Yeah. And I was out of town and we was closed. Well, the agent done scheduled an appointment for the day we was gone and I didn't know. And look, so I'm getting like on the back end, this text, like I'm here. No one's here or y'all. And I'm like, oh, this is what you're talking about. Like, you can't just let it because like, listen, dude, I'm just going and it's, It's like scheduling an appointment. You know what I mean? Like, hey, come on in. Everything's fine. The water's fine. And yeah, so that's spot on what you said. But man, there's such an asset.
When you got a program, when you got to give the agent the same hours as the employees.
Yeah, no, you got to definitely tell the agent. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
like, hey, take this time off. Go do some research. Go relax. Go mingle with
yeah,
Rob.
hang out Sunday, hang out with the fam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go see what Grok or GPT is up to.
Hey, do you use Grok often? Do you ever use Grok?
Oh yeah, all the time, like every day.
Dude, you can ask it some
I
freaking.
use multiple AIs every day.
That's me too, yeah. But
I'm
expert
happy.
mode on Grok is insane. You know what I mean? If you're actually going into like deep thinking on AI and like ENS or blockchain or anything related, it will go down the rabbit hole. Grok will take you as far down the rabbit hole as you want to go and keep you there as long as you want to stay. Like I'm love using it. It's pretty quick also, but yeah, it's crazy how much AI is like implemented into my life in the sense of like even Bolt. Have you used Bolt, the web builder?
I don't think I have. What is Bolt?
No, 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 no. Listen, this is crazy. So I helped a local restaurant build a website in like 5 minutes with their menu. But like I kind of, I'll tell
What
you
is,
how.
is it like WordPress or Wix?
No,
Or,
no, no, no. It's all right. So the easiest way I can explain: make a GitHub. You have a GitHub, right? All right. So you go to bolt.new. And I think I learned this from Ishmaeli of all people. I was in one of his spaces. They were talking about it, and I was listening. I started playing with it. But bolt.new, log in through GitHub, and you can text prompt building sites. Like you can upload an image of a menu. You know what I mean? And be like, hey, create me a site for this. Use Lowe's colors and create me a chat bot. Create a Bitcoin payment tab in the top right. You know what I mean? But you're texting everything, and when you click it, it codes it and React. It uses React code, but it pushes it over to your GitHub. You know what I mean? And deploys. You can deploy the site. So you should actually look into it as many domains like DNS
yeah, look
domains
it up.
have. I have never used WordPress, so I don't know if it's like that. But you just text the text.
No, it's like an AI builder connects to GitHub
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, it's freaking
And then you
stupid
can connect a
advanced.
domain name or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but so then you can just deploy it on one of your domain names. You know, so that's if you wanted to build like a simple landing page, you can't go wrong. You know, on a DNS domain, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, create me a landing page with my contact info for this, this, this. Use this color theme. Use this. Like, I got it to build one for agriculture.eth, my domain. I'm going to tell you, Gary. Like, I have big plans for agriculture. I actually, being in the southern United States,
You have Bitcoins for agriculture?
huh?
What you say you have Bitcoins for agriculture?
No, I have agriculture.eth. I own that domain, but like I'm gonna because I think I've been seeing how much agriculture is going to advance. Someone in the space that we're friends with is big in agriculture. He lives in like central United States, but people are going to like. I think agriculture is going to come on chain. You know what I mean? And I think that domain can be used for good in a
It's
big
no
way.
fair. Everything's coming on chain.
Yeah, no, true, true. That's what's crazy. Who would have thunk it? You know what I mean? Like, God, everything happens so fast, or everything's happening fast.
Yeah, and so I mean, we talk about AI a lot, but I mean, AI is happening just like crypto is happening.
Hmm.
But you know, in terms of the big three narratives in 2026, Joseph Young was tweeting, and what he's saying is going to be tokenization, stable coins, and check this, institutional grade privacy.
Well, expand on the institutional grade privacy. I get stablecoins are going to be on ETH. I get tokenized RWAs are going to be on ETH, but I'm assuming privacy is going to be on ETH also. What do you mean by institutional grade?
Um, well, I guess like institutional grade privacy would be
Like from
privacy for a a company that deals with companies,
okay,
like a company that has like a lot of
JP
money, a
Morgan
lot of,
dealing with Wells Fargo.
yeah, or JP Morgan dealing with like, yeah, any of the Fortune other 500 companies, right? It's like, or or just like super wealthy families, you know what I mean, or super wealthy clients, or you know, like enterprise. You know what enterprise is.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about like enterprise grade. We're not talking about normal business grade or small business grade. We're not
Not
necessarily.
the DGens we left behind. This is we got to
Yeah,
wait.
we're talking big. We're talking big boys. Um, in terms of whatever the industry is, whatever the revenue is. And so those companies need privacy
Talk about
for their clients, right? And so and their clients need privacy. Everyone needs privacy. You need privacy. I need privacy.
mhm.
Privacy is a human right.
There's been a
And
lot
and
about.
right now privacy doesn't exist on Ethereum. The
No, I
best the
agree.
best we have Tornado Cash, which may or may not be illegal to use in your jurisdiction.
0x0. Have you used that?
No, can't say that I have used that.
Hmm.
There's also Railgun. I don't know if these are legal or not. It's hard to say with the changing laws, technically in the jurisdiction that people live in.
Right.
But privacy doesn't exist for everybody.
Oh no, I agree.
It doesn't, and it barely exists at all. And something that we have to have is privacy. We can't have someone purchasing an ENS name and doxing that they have this wallet with $200,000 in it.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I agree.
It's like you might be okay with that. Someone listening might be okay with that, but there's a lot of people who aren't involved in the crypto, and they're going to think I am not okay with that.
Yeah, no, that's 100% understandable. But one thing I can tell you here, and I went over this with you. You remember I got hit with malware like end of last year in one of my altcoin wallets, right? Remember me telling you about that? When I tell you, I set my
Yeah.
stuff up like Fort Knox now, man.
Was
Like,
that like
and
that was like some software thing, right? It wasn't Zoom.
yeah, it was a PDF converter, man. I could
PDF
say,
converter.
yeah, it was just I was lazy and I went to a
Yeah,
coffee
is everybody
shop.
listening?
Huh?
Is we have over 200 people listening. Checked it out. Bama, tell people what you did so people could learn. You needed a PDF converter.
All right, no, 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 no. So
Go.
let's back up to how it happened. So I imported my private key from one of my ledgers, like
Sorry,
a
this
few
sounds bad.
years back into OpenSea. Yeah, 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 into my browser extension, right? All right,
We
so
start with a private key. This is bad.
yeah, no, 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 no. At the time, well, I was just logging in. I was logging in through OpenSea on my ledger. You know what I mean? So that's how. And I fucked up and I did it with a private key. Well, nothing happened, right? So this is 2 years later on that specific hardware wallet. Thank God, dude. I had so many. I probably have 500 ENS domains in that wallet, and I don't know if this is. I'm gonna go back and tell you the story, but I don't know if this is good or if this is bad on my ENS investments because it swiped all my altcoins and left every ENS. So I was like, oh no, I don't know if this is good or bad, but no, it's jokes. But I'm sure it was like just autonomous contract looking for tokens, right? But no, so that's how. But I had went to the coffee shop and I was building the Bolt.new, dude. Of all things, we were just talking about this.
It's funny.
So my company, Block Ventures, I was building a landing page for that to show some of my ENS investments, like avatars, and I was like importing. I was trying to convert a photo to a PDF. Well, here's where I screwed up. Instead of going into Adobe, I just logged in to Google and typed in free PDF converter. Thought I was being smart. Went to the top one that was not a sponsored ad. You know what I mean? I thought one that was just scoring high. Thought, hey, this is safe. Little did I know that's a common thing, and this is for anyone out there. It was like I heart PDF or some shit. I don't know. I just clicked on it fast, converted the PDF. When I downloaded the file, I downloaded malware. Later that evening, I guess the script just went in and just swiped every token in one of my wallets, and nothing you can do. I tried to call like a few days later. I tried to call the cops, and they was like, "Listen, you need to call." I forgot who they told me, like some internet crimes division. It was like too far. They was like, oh, "We don't even know where." So I was just like, "It is what it is." But I'm glad they didn't get my ENS. But I'm going to tell you this, like you said, tying back in. I split my stuff up. I have so much, like everything split. You know what I mean? Nothing. My phone that I use that I interact with a lot of stuff has nothing much of value. You know what I mean? That can get compromised. But money, I keep that all. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, I think that's something we have to do on top of the privacy. and I'm sure Web3 class will teach stuff like that, is even though we don't have the features yet, there's still things you can do to keep that from putting a target. You know what I mean? Because yeah, like you said, I read that AI note earlier, and that's what it said. It was like a 200 investor with 200K in their wallet. Just you know what I mean? That is kind of bizarre. Like for bad actors, and there's bad actors in any space. So what? Even Vitalik's pushing privacy, though. I think that's something that's on like the top of, I guess you call the roadmap. You know what I mean? Because I've seen him make several posts on it. So surely something will shape up. Something will come of it. I'm sure it's going to be something with regulations too. You think that's going to be? I think privacy is going to be a big word with all these government regulations. You know what I mean? I'm curious to see which direction it goes.
Yeah, really hard to say. Yeah, I just wonder with some of the privacy systems, if the privacy systems will have backdoors or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a question. Or our system's going to be end to end encrypted.
But that's the problem with having back doors. That's the problem with now. You know what I mean? The
Right, right. I mean, I'm just saying there's a lot that remains to be seen.
Mhm.
And it's possible to build backdoors, and maybe the code is going to be open source. Maybe it's going to be publicly viewable,
Mhm.
even if it's not open source. And then people will at least be able to know like what's happening and what's going on and what can they do and what could they do. Um, but there's a lot of things that can be done where somebody can prove that they're 21 years old without having to disclose what their birthday is or
Right.
even what their actual age is, right?
Mhm.
You can just yes or no, or is this person over this age?
Yeah, you should be able to show somebody that, hey, I'm 21, but you don't have to see my address at the same time. You know what I mean? That should
Yeah,
be.
or whatever you want. Yeah, whatever, and you're agreeing to it. But even if you want to say, you know, you prove that you have $100,000 in your wallet or $10,000 in your wallet without disclosing how much is in your wallet, right? Or in an account.
Mhm.
Um, and then it's and then if that information is hidden to everybody, then how is that information still disclosed to regulatory bodies and government, based regulatory bodies? Because right now, all of your crypto information is being shared across government organizations.
Mhm.
And yeah, like everybody needs to be paying taxes and, like taking care of business because everything absolutely is being tracked, traced, databased. And, you know, there's definitely a lot of speculation that, the tax man is going to be cometh.
It's more transparent than ever, too. You know what I mean? On the blockchain, like
Well, it's
it's
not, and imagine AI is like tracking everything and how we're doing everything wrong with our
oh,
taxes.
easily, man. It's impossible. Like how an AI agent could be deployed. It could be just host of AI agents. You know what I mean? Deployed to for tax law alone. It's yeah, you definitely want to set aside if you're trading for taxes. You know what I mean? Because that it can add up quick. But luckily for me, I have ENS assets that I'll hold for another 20 years. No, I'm just messing with you. But yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, freaking. But RWAs, man, that stuff's coming soon. Like, let me ask you this: do you think there will be a big ENS push for naming with real estate? I think is bonds, stocks, and real estate. I think will be the first three things that are really moved on chain. Do you think there will be a big naming push, or with like Onyx, or what is it? On it ain't Onyx no more. It's Connexus. That's their like
Connections.
yeah, they're experimenting with ENS, so I'm curious to see how it all rolls out, man. It could happen fast, you know what I mean? It could happen fast and wild. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing that we've been around for years, man. You know what I mean? And when it happens, this adoption and it clicks with like it clicked with us with the naming, it could get out of hand fast, whether it's just subdomains or what. You know what I mean? Because one of these companies secures their name and then run subdomains on all their properties or whatever the case may be. So many ways you could run it, man, with naming. I just know everything's going to be named. You know what I mean? And I know ENS has got the highest chance, most consistent track record. You know what I mean? This man, did you know? And I know you know this. ENS.ETH are in the top 10 TLDs in the world in terms of registrations. That's strong, man. You know what I mean? Like that's super strong if you really sit back and think about that.
There's a lot of people that own ENS names. Absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I agree.
ENS. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people in crypto. ENS has a lot of utility. And in terms of people not, like Web3 native people not using ENS, there's a lot of Web3 native people that do use ENS and do have their ENS, but they don't really talk about it. They don't talk about it. They don't,
Yeah.
they don't show it. They may have it set up. Um, they may use it sometimes if they really need to, but because of the politics of Web3, maybe they're like into Solana, or maybe they don't like the association to Ethereum, because Ethereum has been like faux pas for a couple of years here.
Hmm.
And there's been just a lot of bad narratives like being played against Ethereum in general, right? Like from other chains, from the Bitcoin community, from the Solana community, from here and there. And I think where everything is going with in terms of like enterprise level tokenization,
Hmm.
enterprise level stable coins, enterprise level on-chain privacy. All of these things are happening on EVM, on either Ethereum or Ethereum layer twos. And with that, yeah, I mean, it's super bullish for ENS protocol, and it's super bullish for anyone that's building on those protocols.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've always seen ENS. This is how I see our ENS before DNS importing. Let's say before that, you know what I mean? Even before that, I never seen .eth being the new .com in that sense. I always, and I may be wrong. I think in the future we're going to see businesses still continue to use DNS, and individual digital identity is going to be .eths. And but that's super bullish. Like I think seeing from the way, I could be wrong, but I think from the way I see it, that businesses, there's going to be a hell of a lot more individuals than businesses. You know what I mean? So there's a lot more adoption for the individual digital identity. So that's what I've always seen ENS, and that's like I always try to be like with generics of whatever I did, so it wasn't trademarks so much. But names, I think that's why. You know what I mean? First names, last names, because I feel like everybody's going to want to have their lineage, etc. Like you said, Gary, you let it slip. I'll never be able to get my real name. Listen, I run around as Keith on X, but listen, my real name, some dude that reminds you played Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah.
All right, Goro. Goro's got
Yeah.
my ENS name. He had like 250,000 friends on Twitter. I was like, I'll never get this. I actually DM'd him. He was a super cool guy, but he was like, yeah, nah, bro. He said, but I respect you reaching out. And if I ever do decide to sell it, I'll reach out to you. You know what I mean? So I can respect that. It's the best I could do. But yeah, we don't, how, like, people don't understand how lucky they are to be able to get their first or last name. You know what I mean? That is one thing that is huge. I was able to grab some of my family members and like friends, and same with you, I'm sure. Your friends don't even understand how valuable these things are going to be. You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh, thanks, man. You got me a Facebook login." You know what I mean? Because they don't understand the whole. So I just hold them quietly, and I know one day when it all, you know what I mean, they're going to come to me and they're going to want it. And I don't know. That's good. At least and I'm sure everybody does that in space. You know what I mean? Because there's only very few of us that get this or believe in this. So, what did Bush say? I think items and digital pairs will be synonymous with .eth. Items, digital pairs. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Look at Bush in here hanging out with us, man. Bush been in here with us all night. That's all I can see on the chat. That's the X chat.
Appreciate the chat.
Yeah, heck yeah. This is when, well, man, there's 216 people in here.
Yeah.
That's up from last time.
You should be in the Twitter space too.
Am I not? I mean, I'm in the Twitter space, ain't I?
No. Like on your phone.
Let me see. It's my first day, Gary. I'm just messing with you.
Your second day.
Yeah. All right, start listening. All right, but am I going to get a crazy echo? Do you not hear an echo?
No.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Well, I'm just in there. Yeah, I didn't request. Look at Hidayat. I see Hidayat in there, man. I hadn't seen him. Hidayat was cooking with a web builder, man. I actually need to get on there and do that with some of my names. I see him.
Yeah.
He's in the
I got to add a course to Web3 class about web hash builder.
Building websites.
Yep.
It's crazy, man. It's a
I
landing page.
I have to teach people how to use web hash.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, I think that it's super hands-on. I think everybody should have a landing page. I've been slacking on it, honestly. Man, listen, I'm gonna tell you when that malware hit me, Gary. When I tell you I already got hypertension, like genetically. But when I was trying to move all these assets out and move these things around, you know how it is. You know what I mean? You're in the spot, you don't know what's compromised, at what level. I was like freaking Zoom and everything. You know what I mean? And yeah, so another thing that people, and it actually happened to me. So funny story. I'm in the digital identity space. This is something that most people wouldn't tell you, like wouldn't own up to. So look, this is funny where this troll got me. So I told you about the malware, and then I just sent everything to new wallets on hardware wallets. Once I got everything around, well, I didn't name the wallets that I sent it to, right? So I'd be damned if I didn't get hit for like a quarter ETH with, the little dust transactions they'll send to you, your ledger. That's something maybe you should cover where they, and there's actual agents and stuff. I was looking into that. I went deep down on that people, they're sending the last six of the wallet looks the same. The first six looks the same, but it's a different wallet address that they control. You know what I mean? They send a transaction to it. You copy it in a ledger. And I sent a quarter ETH, and I was like, 15 minutes later, I was like, oh, this should be here now. And then I called it. I was like, it was like fake phishing. I was like, oh my God. So that's one thing right there, man. I think that alone ENS solves. You know what I mean? Had I sent that to meet.eth or one of my other ENS, that would have never even happened. It couldn't have happened. You know what I mean? Because it was human readable name I was sending it to. Freaking, yeah, contracts are for the birds, man. All right, it's 8 o'clock, man. You wanna crash it down and then catch up on Wednesday? I guess we can post something for the next one.
Yeah, let's do it. We got a lot of work to do, or at least I have a lot of work to do. I don't know about you, but what we have going on over at web3class.com as I get that community up and running and build out those courses for folks. But yeah, we can work on that throughout the week, and then Wednesday we could have another stream.
Yeah, I'm good. We can lock down a time. More than likely, probably like 7 Eastern, like today, somewhere in that time frame. I'm sure we'll post something before we go live.
Yeah, we'll get better about all.
Yeah, we'll be more structured. Now my mic works. Listen, I was giving out free echoes. Gary gives out popes. I give out echoes. POAPs, whatever. Yeah. Hey, that was cool though. I got a low number POAP from Girls Marketplace. You had to go in and do a transaction when it launched. I think on like a top 50 or something like that. So like a true DGen, wanting low number. Low number good. But yeah, I'll catch up with you off the air, man. I'll shoot you a message, I'm sure, tomorrow, and we'll catch up, and I'll help out in any way. And then I'm sure I'll see you and everyone else again Wednesday.
All right, very good, man. Thanks. It was cool hanging out. And everyone else, thanks for hanging out. All a couple hundred of you. Really appreciate everybody. Make sure you're following me wherever you are viewing this, and be sure to be following Bama.eth on X. And we'll see you guys again Wednesday. And until then, we are minting coin.